Part 2 opens with the narrator returning from town and a conversation between her and Frank about Maxim's late wife, Rebecca. After hearing a new description of Rebecca, Mrs. De Winter is determined to set herself apart from Maxim's previous wife. After a request from countless townsfolk and the staff, the narrator is convinced to host a costume party. Mrs. De Winter intends to set herself apart from the late Rebecca by stunning Maxim and his friends with an elaborate dress. However, as the day of the party approaches and a dress still has to be made, she turns to Mrs. Danvers for help. After taking Danvers' advice to mimic a dress from painting in the gallery, Mrs. De Winter is giddy to show off the stunning dress. She has a drummer introduce her and is shocked to find Maxim furious at her. She returns wailing to her room and Beatrice, Maxim's sister, explains the issue. It was the exact dress Rebecca had worn the year prior. After realizing Max had never come to bed the night before, the narrator goes for a walk. During her walk, Mrs. De Winter realizes there's someone in Rebecca's room. Upon further investigation, she realizes it's a crying Mrs. Danvers. During the conversation that follows, the narrator's worst fears are realized. Maxim does not love her. The second part finishes with the narrator contemplating suicide and Mrs. Danvers urging her to do so. Throughout this part, the narrator's position at Manderley is shown time and time again. While Rebecca had planned every aspect of the costume party during her life, the narrator plans almost nothing, often finding herself in the way. Also introduced is Clarice, Mrs. De Winter's new servant. The narrator finds she has more in common with her staff than those of her own class, further cementing herself as the lesser. The reader is introduced to more of Maxim's family. His mother is now mentally ill, unable to deduce that Rebecca has died, and is angry that she has not visited. This further proves that Rebecca still holds the position of Maxim's true wife, as his mother does not recognize the marriage between him and the narrator. The main theme seen throughout this part is self-identity, a trend that has been common throughout the book, and most likely will be.